Why do you say oh shit?
She's like...
You're thinking about like the mechanics of changing the belts.
Well,
and
I
stuff?
did see it on the video, but I wasn't really paying close attention. So.
It's a bit of a tangly, you know, to get it back on and off. But that's your belt slackener. The rest of the machine's pretty much ready to go, and it does come from the box pretty ready to go as well. So it's good. Hi everyone, we are doing another husband and wife sharpening tutorial. We established in the last video that it's better to have a good basic stone system than to stuff around. If you're a complete knife novice, to stuff around with your pull through bullshits, things like that. We're moving up today to a level of, I guess, more sharpening intensity. And we're entering the realm of where you can do some proper either damage to your knife or get some proper really good edges on a knife. And we're going to be using the Ken Onion Worksharp sharpener, the guided automatic sharpener for that purpose. My wife here has watched a single video on it. She's watched a video on it, and I'm going to try and be as hands-off as I can, because a lot of this Worksharp stuff is done for people to learn sharpening and have like a fairly risk-free first few sharpening experiences, and then get better with, you know, the skill as they develop using it. So what do you know about this machine so far, my dear?
The belt goes round, and then knife goes... Oh, I can't tell where the knife goes in. Hang on, we'll put the thing on first.
Put the belt on first. So which of the belt do you think you'll start with?
The most rough.
Yeah.
That says extra coarse.
See, I would say with this one, for a knife, I would start just with a medium. And that's just...
Why?
Because a coarse can really take a lot off really quickly.
Are you worried about my skills?
I just feel like better to do medium for a little bit longer than to jump straight in with coarse and really throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Well, medium.
So I think start with medium.
22.
X22, yeah, I think that's branding or something like that.
Okay, so this
pull.
little thingy.
Yep, so that's...
That?
Yep, so start it from...
Your tummy rumbling?
Yeah, it's my tummy. So just slide under there, poke into there, yep. Get it all in there. And I find when you give the power button a couple of squeezes, it sort of lines it up. There you go.
Alright, so you would have to go there.
So you place the machine flat down on the table. That's a good way to start.
Like this?
Sure, yep.
Because does it go like that?
That's right, it sure does. So that's the way the knife's going to go. Now the cool thing about this machine is that you can just have it go constantly and leave the belt running and just bring the knife to the belt at your leisure pretty much. So you squeeze that trigger, and then also on the side of this handle about there you can feel another button. So while you're squeezing the trigger, you pop in that button. So now it's just going, right? And now in regards to your angle, if you look over the top here, you've got your angle guides. So for a kitchen knife, it's actually about 17 degrees.
You just said before that you do everything on 20.
With that machine, I do, because there's only options of 20 and 25 and 20. But with my ideal kitchen knife, I would do it on the 17. So that's what we're going to do it on. And you can see how it's 17. You can see how...
Sure.
You can?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see 20, and then the middle one says probably either 17.5 or 17, and the next one's 15 degrees. And that, as you move it, is narrowing and opening these guides.
Ah, I see. So you just push it against that?
Yep, against the side of the guide.
And you'd go...
That's right.
Okay.
So that is seeming like the mission is getting accomplished already, of being like a pretty like intuitive system. So we're going to set that 17 up. And then I think we can just get started, because it's pretty, there's not really much more to say. What you can use here is there's this little blade guide here. Shift the purpose of the camera. I'll just get my little...
Oh, I see. No, I don't see.
So there's this little blade guide here that you can pull out and put on. And so you can rest the edge on that as you pull it through. So you'd go... So pull... Yeah.
Oh,
so
I like that.
You see how that works?
Then what does this side do?
This side does the other side. So it's still going that way, like, right? So that's fine. It's good.
So do you go...
Yes, you do. Whilst resting the knife against this piece of plastic here, that's the part that you sort of, that's the part you sort of,
Zoom.
and it's not a push, it's just a rest, but you let this part here guide you, because
Do you go like this?
You could, but it's easier to track what you're doing if you just do single pulls at a time, especially if you're starting out, right?
Okay.
So
Hold on to your butts.
let's hold on to our butts and get it started, get it locked on. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
Alright, and then you go this side.
Yep. Just remembering, you're aiming towards that part, you're aiming the flat part of the blade against this side rather than against the belt.
Like that?
Looks pretty good, yeah.
And they said 1 inch a second on that video.
Yeah, sounds about right.
What is that about that?
Yeah, looks about fine, yeah.
I don't really know inches that well.
I usually do probably like 20 per side, especially that's fine, especially because the knife's a bit duller. Alright, wait, turn off for a sec. Cool. So looking at the blade up here, so you can sometimes with this one you can start to eyeball some things. Being this is a kitchen knife, you can sort of see even like how rough it actually was. You can see these bits taken out. So that's why using a machine like this is actually quite good for a quite far gone knife, because it's way quicker to catch up with those little chips and divots. So it's actually gonna need a little bit more time, and maybe we could have even started. We could actually move to the coarse belt. I think now that you've got the rhythm down, I reckon we can put our coarse belt on, because it'll catch up with those chips a lot quicker than that medium was doing. The medium is more of a honing or a sharpening belt, and also a great belt to just like learn the idea of the system on. Because I remember when I first got my first one of these, I absolutely.
Sorry,
That's okay. When I first got my first one of these, which was the older one that's still over there somewhere, I scooped out so many blades, like you can really remove a lot of steel. So I think that I probably didn't do what you just did, and I probably started off too severe and just let it sit for too long and all that sort of stuff. So I think if you apply what you were just doing to this new belt, you'll remove that steel and you'll make a great edge quite quickly. So
you'll tell me when to stop.
Yeah, sure. Alright, I reckon that's probably good for now. So we'll see how that's looking. We can even eyeball. I can still see a couple of those.
Same, but it's better.
Yeah.
Like, is that like that little?
Yeah, but they're catching up with that edge. They're gradually being, they're having less space to
So
run.
how far, right? So over time, how far can you grind down that before it's no longer?
I would say to this knife, probably to that wave of
that bit. That part.
Yeah, probably to that first wave of cladding. It's not for any reason apart from it's probably just a good eyeball. But yeah, you're right. You can sort of see, with kitchen knives especially, you do really run out of edge. You can see how clear, we're both in that mirror of that. But yeah, kitchen knives, especially like poorly sharp ones, especially knives that are gouged out with like those
that thing, the pull through thing.
These pull through type sharpeners, they really do shorten their life a fair bit. So
does that mean that we need to do this more in the coarse? Or go to medium?
I would stay on the coarse to get some of those chips out still, because you can see how, see how chippy it is. It's worth, yeah. pretty good. Yep. Pretty much just start to tidy up now. So now we can pop that medium belt back on. And this will be where we start to...
Ooh, it's warm.
Yeah, it is warm. That's another thing about these ones is that if you go too hard for too long, you can sometimes affect like the actual treatment of the blade. Like
It's too hot?
Because yeah, too hot. But that's why this one goes, that's quite a slow rotation. Some of them, if you hold it down, for example, it's actually a bit quicker than just the normal.
You can hear it like when you push the button.
So the revs are higher. You can change other things with like, you can slide this up. There's a few like things you can change as well, but
what for?
Just
make it faster?
Yeah, it just alters it. A bit like a power drill or something. You can just change like slight torque settings and stuff, but generally as it comes from the box, it's pretty fine. So now you've got your medium belt on, you lock it in and you just do exactly the same thing again. Probably even do a test now and see, because this one has a sort of effect where it basically does a bit of the stropping effect at the same, because it's got give in it, it does do a little bit more of that general, so it's already pretty good. Needs some work, it's still only on medium, so the finer belts will really make that into a really nice edge.
So we can put on the finer one now?
I would keep that on because I'm still feeling a couple of little like, as I go through, couple of little like stoppy stops, and that would indicate there's still some slight like bits that probably need a little bit more of a high intensity belt to get them out like a little bit. I think we can move up the belt now.
Hey.
I think so anyway. I think I might revisit this knife and really get all those chips out, but you can still sharpen a knife completely serviceably, even with a couple of little tiny, like longer term hiccups in the blade. Sometimes a chip just goes so deep into a knife that that's just going to be on that knife until for several sharpenings. But yeah, you just end up wasting so much steel.
What is it that causes like when bones or whatever?
Yeah, or hitting like a fork, or hitting like a, say if you're cutting up roast or something and you've got you're holding it with a fork or something and ting, like all sorts. Yeah. We do put our knives in the dishwasher as well, which isn't great, and that can,
Secret shame.
So you got your fine belt on. How are you feeling about this process?
It's a lot. It's more fun than that.
You find it more fun than the flat stone that we did last time, and
because you feel like you're doing something.
You felt the progress is quicker.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true, and that's why this is quite. People love this. Like, this is really popular. Like, this is not a. There is a certain class of people out there who hate anything automatic, and they hate that it puts like a convexy edge on the blade because the belts are soft. So the blade, like the edge is going to be slightly curvy. Some people just want a straight V. It's all microscope level stuff. Like, you don't really have to worry about it. But some people, there's a certain, obviously with everything, there's always like the purists who think this is too easy, too whatever. But this is popular. Like,
too easy.
Yeah.
They wash their dishes by hand.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, we can definitely stop and see, for sure. We can definitely stop and see how it's looking.
Is that the last belt?
There's a super fine polishing belt that we do after that, so let's have a bit of a look. Pretty good. Pretty good indeed.
Alright, let me switch. I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry too. But yeah, that edge, like that paper there, there's no like fluffing on it, there's no tearing on it. You can still feel a couple of those deeper chips, which are going to be a couple of sharpenings to get out. Although by that point, I'll probably put more chips in it. So it's just, so you got your little fine build on. You see how it's skinnier? It's just a little, quite thin piece of fabric, basically, that doesn't have much of an abrasive surface at all. What you can do is get a little bit of compound.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay.
My butt's gone to sleep. This chair is hard.
So this is the Torment compound. It's just any sort of like slightly gritty paste.
What
So
does the Workshop think about it being a different brand?
I don't know. Well, I've actually seen them make their own. I'm sure they do. But so if you turn it on,
Ready?
yeah, you go for it.
Sounds different.
Yeah, much quieter, doing much less steel removal. Really is just polishing up that edge to make it super glidey sharp. That's probably plenty. It only does so much. It's such a mild finish that it only does so much. So you could do it for 50 years, it probably wouldn't do much more than it did in the first 5 minutes or so. So that's a probably completely finished edge. See how it looks. That's pretty good.
It's nice.
It's very nice.
Let me try.
Yeah. Fresh sheet. Yeah, pretty good. Like, yeah, and you're cutting. Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty nice, isn't it?
Yeah, what more can you ask for?
Right. So what do you think? Like, you've gone from never having even sharpened a knife ever to before we sat down about, an hour and a half ago, and now you've sharpened 3 knives, probably 1 to a quite high, an edge that anyone would think is a really well finished edge, and the other 2, like this one and the Victorinox, to absolutely, completely capable edges using, proper sharpening kit, not just, your bodgy AccuSharps or your rolling wheel pull through nonsense sharpens, So how do you feel about it overall? Do you have anything you want to say or any comments or whatever?
I think I could do it.
Yeah. You could pick these up and...
I like this one the most, but...
Yeah. What do you like more about that one?
Because I'm lazy.
Well, but that's the thing, because it's like, even though frankly, it's still been half an hour of using that one, which is about the same length of time as the other ones.
Oh, it's interesting,
But it just feels quicker because you feel like you're making quicker progress. Does it feel more forgiving or less forgiving than the flat stone? That's what I was interested to hear
it's
from
a
you.
bit more scary. The few times when I come through here and I can tell I'm not doing that right, it's a bit like, ew.
You're worried that you're gonna
But I think I can tell more. Whereas on the other one, I couldn't really tell when I was not doing it right.
Yeah, interesting. I always feel like on a flat stone, there's that thing of I'm not going to know if this is a good edge until I actually go and do that last cut. Sometimes you feel like I'm going to not have figured it out. I'm going to be doing it wrong the entire time and then I've finished and it's all wrong. Whereas this, you feel like you can make micro adjustments as you go a bit maybe. So that's cool. That's cool. Well, I'm not sure if this will be 1 video or 2. That seemed like, I just see how good I can edit it. There's probably going to be lots of long silences and lots of sort of me just standing here watching you. So if I can squeeze it all into 1 video, I will. Because I think it's probably better to just have one video of just a couple of differences.
You do.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see if you like this. We might do more of this sort of thing in the future, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.